Those
Yeah.
are cute.
Yeah. And I think we will have here we have 10, and I think we are missing one that is like the official certificate. So I think we are okay on the designs, but also I wonder, and this is the thing of the common price. You can also see my screen when I no. I think I just screens all my screen entire screen.
About the POAPs, I know I love Acid Laser and Anna was working together. I am just a little worried about if Anna was also involved on the creation of those 10 POAPs, or if it was just Acid Laser.
Um, I don't know. Here we have Acid Laser. He can speak to us about it. Hey Acid, we were just talking about the POAPs you sent. I like them, and we like them, but we also were wondering if Anna had some participation on this, or this is like this is a work together.
She asked me, and I told her to she can make the special pop because this one is just to change the emoji. So I don't feel uh the word to be of two. So because I only changed the emojis last night, so I don't know.
Okay, no, that makes sense, and maybe the that special POAP can have
Yeah, I told to
really
her.
personalized design.
Yeah.
Okay, and let's now talk on the event creation. Who wants to take that responsibility of creating the events now that we have the designs? I initially was thinking of Aloysius around this, but I don't know how loaded are you and if you would be willing to take this.
When you say create the events, do you mean the little ones in the server in the upper left-hand corner?
No, the events in the POAP page. We have the POAPs, but it would be cool to create also the now need to create the events and all those things around the passwords. How were the tests going? I know that you were making some tests around the password distribution.
Yeah, we were running into some problems with the delays of responses from the POAP crew. I think Bianca knows a little bit more about that.
So Aloysius and I, we were working on it. Sorry, my throat's been kind of itchy. So we actually have a test to run, and let me share my screen. We can actually try to do it right now.
Mhm.
It gets
I
a little
just
bit buggy when you choose the secret word option because it takes a little bit more to get approved by the POAP team.
so we got a POAP test, and this is the secret word. So if you go in the app in your phone, try to type in the secret word, it starts next week, the way that it is in the screen, and see if you can mind it.
Okay, also this is only able in the mobile app. Can't we do it in the computer? The thing is that at least I don't have my Web3 in my in my cell phone.
Yes, see if it works in your computer too.
Okay, I will try. POAP claim. Okay. Starts.
I just got the email this morning. Well, I just got mine. I can share.
And
Me too.
I haven't been able to claim it from my computer. How should I do that from the computer?
Let me see.
Because it says like a 6-digit code, but this is a phrase. I will try. POAP delivery.
Or
Claim.
maybe you need to log in the computer.
POAP delivery. The ones that could did it through the phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It only allows me to enter with a 6-digit code, but I will continue searching.
Mm.
Okay, secret. That's the keyword. Plain password secret.
Was anybody else able to do it?
Yeah,
I claim it.
I got it through the phone.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for me.
Only through the phone, right?
Yeah, I use it out of habit. There's 2 apps on my phone. I downloaded one almost a year ago, and then one like a few months after that, after they had developed another one. So I have 2 POAP apps on my phone, and only one of them has the secret word option on it. I thought that was interesting. I don't know if like which version other people have. Mhm.
It says edit this secret via the issuer portal, but that's like your portal. After your drop is
Because
live, you can try. Okay.
maybe you are in a website to make the POAPs,
Mm.
to create the
I know that there's people that, for security reasons, don't like to use Web3 on their phone.
Mm-hmm.
And
So try with this link. I'm gonna drop
yeah,
in Gravity channel. Try with this link, and you can connect your wallet because it goes to your wallet.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, here I can see my gallery, but I don't know how to make the claim.
yeah. I think the only way to claim it's using the app.
Okay, it's also on the Apple Store. I will see if I can download it for my computer and then maybe.
You don't need to have your wallet in your phone to have the app, I guess. You just need the address to connect to the wallet.
I will try.
Yeah, same. I can only see my collection. I can't mind.
Okay. Okay, you only have to paste. But then this is weird because I can paste another account and then just claim POAPs for that other account. Browse. Fuck. Settings. Okay, I am in the it says now share collection and it says mint secret word. Okay. Secret word? It worked for me in the app for the computer. And also I downloaded it in the phone. And yeah, what calls my attention is that there's no really way for them to secure which for which addresses are you claiming this, but I think they must assume that yeah, you will only claim for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, you can't claim it 2 times.
Okay, let me see. Try. It starts next week. Well, it works for me.
Yay! So yeah, it seems then that we have to create the POAP 1 week ahead in time. And then we share the secret word, like we can make a slide or like a picture to share the secret word during the session.
I think that sounds really cool. Maybe in the first session, we also need to remind people that they have to install the POAP app to be able to claim this, either in their phone or in their computer.
Yeah.
And I think that looks really good. But you're saying that you have to create the event 1 week ahead. Why it's not good to create the 10 events in one sit?
Maybe we could, but we didn't test it.
Okay, why don't we do like for the first 5 and then we make the next 5 or just to not have to do this every week and only do it twice or 3 times, but I think that could be yeah, as you think it's better for you. And also that for this distribution of the POAPs for this task, there's a bounty related to it. And yeah, I think that Aloysius and Bianca have been the ones who have been working on this of the POAP delivery. So we split this POAP into the design that was for Acid Laser and Anana, and now for the distribution will be Bianca and Aloysius.
Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, we can try to make the 5, and then if it doesn't work for some reason, we do it again.
Okay, then maybe Acid Laser, if you can share the individual design of each POAP, maybe to the group we are at. I think that there's like a coordination group for the Graviton training. Maybe there will be like a good place to put all these designs.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. On other topics, we also need a paid Zoom account, and I thought that for the Ethereum Colombia community, we still had one, but we still we don't have a paid account for the Ethereum Colombia community. So what I will do is that I will create a premium Zoom account for Gravity with the email that we have, gravitydao@gmail.com, and there we will have our sessions. And now we will have this Zoom account for Gravity as one of our platforms, and we can use it every time we like. Do you agree with paying this subscription? Do you think? I what I would do is that I would put my credit card, and I will just charge like the $10 that is the Zoom subscription on the D-Work as a bounty.
And I was late. What did this feature add? Like, if we paid this $10, what's the benefit for us?
The benefit is that we can have meetings without being cut. I think the free accounts, they only allow you to have like 45-minute calls, and they also have a limit on participants. And if we have this paid account, we can allow everyone to enter, and we can also have like the hour-long or more than an hour-long call.
And you say that's on D-Work?
No, on Zoom.
Oh, Zoom. Okay. I'm confused. Like, why the TC Discord is not good?
We were talking about this in some meetings before, and some of the facilitators said that they felt more comfortable using Zoom because of the tools it has, and it helps to create all these breakout rooms. And we've done it here in Discord, but every time we make breakout rooms, we lose like 5 minutes explaining how it will be done, and in Zoom it can be like faster and easier, and we can have also like raise your hand to participate, and some things that some of the facilitators thought that it could improve the experience of the training.
Thanks, Juan.
Okay, so I will pay that subscription, and then what I will do is that I will be sharing the link at least the Tuesday in the morning prior to the session, so that people can have access to it. I will also try for it to be the same link. Okay. Also, on other topics, you know that we are also offering our first approach to another community, that it's Aragon, and it's been really interesting. We will be also trying to give a training for them that is tailored to some of their needs and expectations. So maybe next week I will be sharing the same that we did for this third Graviton training, that we created a study plan. We are trying to make also like a study plan for them, and those sessions will be held on Fridays. So this training for them will be mostly for the Aragon community, but it's also something that we as a group can support and coordinate with. Also, there will be bounties associated to this tailored graviton training for Aragon. So the people who want to participate, yeah, they will be. There will be also rewards according to this.
Well, I'm still kind of confused on their times because I thought it was like one meeting for US friendly and one for European. But the one for European is like during the night for me. And I tried to be on there once and I just couldn't pay attention because it was totally off. And the one that US friendly that's closer to my time in Brazil, um, there wasn't a lot of people related to Umbrella team, and they were all lost in a call, I felt like. So, um, I don't know how they're managing the hours.
Yeah, that's difficult because the time zones are always sketchy, and most of their team works on Europe time, but they also want us to be able to provide some of these toolings and some of these calls for other schedules. So they are not telling us to prepare 10 sessions differently. They're telling us to prepare 5 sessions for 2 different time zones. It's difficult and complex, I think, also for them because there are a huge community. They are a huge community, and that's what happens. Like if you can't be in all places at the same time and all time zones at the same time, and it's easy to get asymmetry of information just within the time zones.
Yeah.
It's very complex, but it's also very beautiful what we are seeing there. So also you are all invited to these calls that are on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Europe time. I know it's very early for people in America, but for the people who is right now in Europe, they can join. And what I've seen is that um, they have a lot of things that are great, and they also have some things that they can learn from us. So it would be like like a very interesting exchange um, between expertises and between experiences.
I'll join them, I think. Yeah.
That would be good. Bianca, I am trying to make the Zoom account, but it's asking me for a date. I will send you a message and please help me with that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Um, so I had also a concern regarding the Graviton training, the Taylor Graviton training for Aragon. Or maybe it's just a question that could get clarified. Um, what would be like the difference between that training and this one that we're having? I know it's Taylor, but what does that exactly mean? I say this because I mean I don't know if Aragon people are coming to the training we are doing this time with the 10 sessions. And in my mind, I mean, I don't think it would be something good that Aragon people come here and they realize that it's kind of like the similar thing or the same thing to the training they will have, you know, and especially for the amount of money they are paying for that training, and also being only like 5 different sessions. I think it's really important that we uh, consider that, you know, that what are like the true benefit, because like any Aragon member, for in my understanding, could come to our training, right? So that difference, I think it's important to have clear. I don't know. if you guys could help me with that.
Yeah, I will share a document where they share some of their expectations. Um, I also like what Innovator said, a cool meme, a cool emoji. I will share my screen. And this is some of the expectations they're having. It Even though that we will try to make it a little bit different, we will still have some things that are already on the training, but it's also like the tailored thing is also for the experience and with the time zone and with the schedule. This is proposed to happen on Fridays. These dates are not right. It will be a little bit later. But yeah, like we have our open training for everyone, that we set the dates and the people have to accommodate to that date, to those dates. But one of the facts of this tailored Graviton training is that we tailor our schedule to the one that fits best to them. So they want some of these topics, like they want us to talk about trust, about soft governance, about communication, about conflict, error, remote work and its challenges, and burnout. So as I initially see here some things that we don't have in this training. I wanted them to get in, but at the end they were left out of this training. Like the psychology session, I would like to be able to provide them a session around burnout and about remote work and its challenges. That is something that we will not be covering in this Graviton training. And also they want this to be really practical, so we will be also having like a special focus on liberating structures, but we will have like in communication, maybe we can have Durgadas or Didan, because we cannot also try to offer something totally different than what we have. Talking about conflict, I will be taking some of these, and talking about errors, we can also invite Lean. So it will be like more or less something similar, but still trying to offer something different. Also, like we don't have in the third Graviton training any session around soft governance, but I will try to see if I can invite either Grief or Libby or Tam to talk about offline coordination, and also to talk about advice processes. Something that I see that happens really in the Aragon server is that there are multiple proposals trying to tackle the same issue, and then what we see is that the proposals are competing instead of integrating one to another. So I think that this practice of the advice process can be something that be very helpful for their community, and that's something that we are not talking about in the third Graviton training. So I think there will be some points where we will meet, but there will be also some points where we will differentiate.
So what I understand is that basically they chose the different 5 topics, and now we'll be finding like people that can present about those topics, correct?
Yeah. Some of these topics are things that we have, but like for this advice process, it's not something that we developed in Gravity. I think that we should ask for collaboration for these people that I mentioned, like Reef or Levy or Tam, who are experts and subject matter experts, that can contribute to Gravity, giving some of their expertise and knowledge around these topics. Because like we are not experts on advice process, but we can, as we are close to them, maybe we can ask them to help us a little bit with this, and also reward them with this. But I think it's also something that we should talk with them, and I it's an idea that I share, but I need to talk with them also for their support. But I think they won't reject this, because they have been supporting Gravity since the start. And I also think that sharing about the advice process is like a good practice that we can talk other communities too. But yeah, I am very curious about this, and about how are the boundaries between the services that we provide and the services that other communities or other projects provide.
Juan,
Yeah.
where's the information coming from burnout? Like, is there anything compiled, or is that something to like jam on? I've got a hankering to work on that.
Anna once made a really cool presentation regarding burnout, and maybe we can like iterate on that. But I really like that presentation where she talked about burnout. And there's also this psychologist called Ignacio, who has been like not being very frequent on his participation and not very present, but that he has also very cool things to say regarding how can we tackle burnout as a cultural issue.
Mm. Yeah, cool. If there's ways to throw in some neurodiversity stuff, I'd love to. I'm good at finding holes.
Okay, I will try to add this. I don't have permit edits in this edit permits in this document, but what I told them is that for next Tuesday I will give them like a third Graviton training study plan, like a proposal with like, okay, maybe for this advice process I will try to bring either Levy or Griff or Tam. For this conflict thing, I can take it. For error culture, we can have Lean. For liberating structures, we can have Jeremy, and maybe also for burnout and remote work and its challenges, we can have either Ana, Bianca, or Ignacio. And also maybe we can have for inclusion now Aloysius. And it would be cool because I want people to feel that they are growing in this, and maybe that if you didn't participate in the third Graviton training and you have something to say and something to share, you can always participate in other tailored Graviton trainings, and also for the next Graviton training, so that we can have a very wide offer and diverse offer, and it's not like everyone talking the same, but that we can have this different content added for each iteration. I think, Septi, you were going to say something?
Don't know if Septi was, but I was hoping to, Juan.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of things. With the advice, I'm wondering if the 21 cases that we've had would constitute what might be considered to be advice. I mean, in our terms, it's more facilitation. And I'm just wondering if that's something that they're trying to sort of move towards. And I think the other thing I want to back up what Aloysius said. I think sometimes understanding people who are kind of neurodiverse can be difficult, and people sometimes get into conflict as a result. Whereas if they had a better understanding, that would actually help, reduce situations where there are potential conflict. So I don't know if that's. I feel that they're connected, personally, but I don't know what other people think.
Yeah, that's amazing. That would be something that Aloysius can take on this, and I'd love to see you talking and teaching to others around this, around trauma informed culture. I think this sounds really cool. And also, Durgadas joined the call, and he's leading the website design. So I will pass the mic to him to see if there's some way that we can contribute on his efforts.
So just send me a friend request if you haven't already. If you want to be participating in the private DM group that we have for that. So yeah, I'm trying to. As so far, it's mostly been me and Bear 100 going back and forth about things. Trying to figure this out. I know that there's I'm hearing right from the beginning a bit of overlap between like, what's the whole Gravity DAO going to be about? How we're going to do governance? How we're going to do all these different things? And it's like, okay, hang on, we have to figure out what we're going to say to the people out there. And so I'm sort of already figuring out that there's some internal facing things, internal guidance principles that we'll need to maybe put into a separate sort of idea and figure out what kind of what's going to be externally facing for the clients, and then what's going to be sort of internally facing for us in terms of the website. Because what I'm hoping to do is to actually have like an internal and an external facing kind of thing, like the Gravitons who are kind of working and that sort of thing. So maybe we can end up with a membership site where we can have people who have just like different kinds of Gravitons doing different things, or people are participating in teams. So there's some other things that we can talk about in terms of the structure of the site. But yeah, just send me I think I put something in Gravity saying that if you wanted to participate, you could be in that. From a technical perspective, basically we're going to be using WordPress, and the way that I generally work is to try to just take a pre-built theme. I'm not going to be designing anything from scratch. My concern is to worry less about the design, because design has been sort of templated for us, so we don't have to worry about that. It's just more what what actual stuff we want to get on the page, who are we talking to, and are there sort of an internal facing thing, that needs some security and some other structures like that. So for example, some of the things that we do in terms of keeping track of gravity cases and things like that could potentially be done behind a membership wall or from layers of security, so that we can be sure that that sort of thing happens well. But from a technical standpoint, I would suggest that you guys be a bit more creative in terms of what it is that we're trying to do, versus like being creative about the website itself, right? So for me, this is about taking sort of the business stuff and then inventorying that, and then creating another sort of in more inward facing set of structures that we can maybe put some of our other stuff into. So great thing about WordPress is you can have individual members, so you can log in, and I'm hoping that we can do a little bit like what I was talking about yesterday in the Sampo group, where we can have like a dashboard for each user, and then you can see what's going on with you when you log into your own sort of section there. So these are all the ideas that I have so far. I'd like to start having at least a weekly meeting for that. Yes, there is a website layout document, which it's in the Gravity, or it's in the group that we're participating in. So if you innovator, if you want to. It's not about the layout so much. Mostly, I have my own sort of process for dealing with this. So I know a bunch of people have produced a bunch of things, Aloysius and some others. So what I'd like to do is take all of those things and sort of regress them down into the format that I'm suggesting we use, because that document then becomes a sort of a guidance document for all of our you know promotional activities in terms of the website, and can harmonize if we're going to do HubSpot, for example. So you can use that as a guidance document for who you're talking to and what you're trying to say to them, and figuring out a lot of things about your whole marketing communications to be really harmonized. So what I'd like to do is maybe really take that on as a big thing. Have our internal idea about what it is that we're doing, really clear, and that's what this process is doing. 75% of web design is the planning and munging through all this stuff. 25% is the technical part. So just I need more help on the front end of that than I do on the back end of it. But I probably will need help on the back end too. So yeah, please and then of course once it's done, we'll need maintenance and people to care about the HubSpot lists and other things. So please do come and help participate. We have spots for a lot of people. Any questions or concerns about any of this?
I have seen the focus matrix, but for me, my thing is that I am not still like how clear on
Yeah.
how to interact with it.
Yeah. Well, so I'd like to have the first meeting we'll give an introduction into that. I actually put in a bit of an introductory thing about that. So if you want, you can let me know if now is a good time, or if you want to
We
we
were
can do that
wrapping
in the private group.
for the Graviton training, and we were like, okay, we have the designs. Bianca and Aloysius will create the events. I am making the Zoom account for Gravity.
Okay. I have
So
Zoom Pro, so if you need to temporarily not spend that money, I can help with that too. So
it's not that much. I also think it would be
okay.
good for us. So we will.
Yeah, for sure.
We
Yeah.
will but yeah, thank you. And if you want to, you can have like a quick explanation on this in these 10 minutes, and
Oh, great.
we can
I've got it right up here. Yeah, so I can share it with you right now. So if you guys look at the focus matrix here, the idea behind this is you munch through this. Let me put the link in the Gravity. Why can I suddenly not find it?
I can share it.
There we go. No, here it is. So the basic idea here is that you put all the things that you would like to do in terms of down the middle here. So for example, I'll show you sort of the partially completed version of my the one for my yoga business, right? So what I basically did was I just brain dumped all the different things I wanted to do down the side, right? Here's all the stuff that I want to do. And then later I went back and regressed that into, okay, so there's certain sections of this that I would group together, right? So one I called social justice, one is, people coming and living here at the site, people who want to deal with philosophy, people who want to deal with yogas, therapy, actual spiritual practice. How do you actually do that? Some people who want to deal with yoga as a workout and a fitness. And then here's just all the sort of general things that I think almost every business wants to do. Do you know what I mean? And so like this is maybe a good sort of starting place for us, right? So that's kind of a more finished example. So I say, the UVP is the cornerstone. So I have a sheet just for the UVP. So I've actually kind of put an idea in there for myself. So you guys can come in here, put your name across the top and say, here's what I think. And here's the template. Our company is where audience X finds content Y for benefit Z. That's a basic unique value proposition template. And then if you want to just spew out taglines or different things that you think would work nicely or would work in promotional materials, or plus there's other things like the brand positioning statement. So for example, I've got you can see that I actually did the same thing where I just kind of put together a bunch of different things for my yoga studio, right? In terms of ideas about how to promote. So what's great about this is you're already producing content for the site and for email newsletters and other things. And then the actual focus matrix is here, right? So we've already started, on this. Some people kind of put some things down in here already, and so yeah, basically the idea is who is it that you're talking to, right, across the top. And if you can think of like potential DAOs that you've talked to about different things, you can put those along the top here, right? Different clients and so on. But I actually just want you guys to just actually put mostly the what's in here, and then if you can think of any particular type of DAO or any particular type of person that we need to work with. Like we're also talking about neurodiverse, right? So we need to be able to have people who know things about that. Not trauma. People who suffered trauma. I mean, there's just a lot of different things that we can do in terms of that. And in this trauma area actually might be a place where we can, like for example, interface with the group dealing with the psychological side of the thing. Do you know what I mean? So we could maybe do a handoff there. So point about this is to just get everybody creatively going through and adding things to the what's in particular. And then what we'll do hopefully in the weekly meetings is to then start grouping these things into, okay, let's group the what's together, and then group maybe the who's together. Because a lot of times what you'll find is for example, a lot of times when I do this, I'll be like, oh, well, these two identified groups are actually the same group, really, from a practical standpoint in terms of looking at the website. So we can then, later combine that. So the basic idea about this then is that you figure out who you want, and then you use red for the people that you don't want. So, for example, if there are just really like money-oriented DAOs, or we need to identify who we don't want. So, for example, my feeling about Gravity is that we do both sides of this picture, right? We're interested in people who want to create trust creation out of conflict, right? And so we're offering both halves of that thing. And if the person just wants to hire Billy Joe Jim Bob mediator, he can go to anybody for that. There are people in the phone book you can go to for that. I don't think that's what Gravity's doing, right? And so my point is, when we figure out what our unique value proposition is, then we'll know who that we're doing things with, and then who we're not doing things with, and then we'll know all the things that we're going to do. And then what we actually do is we can then put X's to map the content between these things, which is a very practical step in terms of what the website needs. And when you go to a website, basically you should be able to find yourself in the first 5 seconds. What this does is it gives us an inventory of everything that we're trying to do, all the people we're trying to do it to, and then practically for me in terms of making the website, that makes it so that I can know exactly who I'm supposed to talk to at exactly what step, and that'll influence what pages I create, what security levels I'm going to deal with. Am I doing an internally facing thing or an externally facing thing? is going to influence what kind of things I'm doing in email newsletters, and this is just an overall guidance document that will inform the stuff that we're doing, moving forward, and we should be referring to all the time as we go along. So I hope that's a good introduction. I've got 5 minutes for questions if you guys. So what we'll basically do in version 1 of this, I feel, is to add a bunch of things, whatever you guys think. And then in the first group, we'll take all the other stuff that you guys have made, the mirror boards and whatever else you guys have already sort of put stuff into, and try to take those things out of there, put it into here, and take whatever ideas that we have and make this work. I will admit that this is the first time that I'll be working with, a big group on this. Typically, it becomes unwieldy if there's more than about 3 people involved dealing with this. So when I do this, I've designed about 50 websites with my clients using this process, and I will say it's going to be a new thing for me too. There are some technical things that we need to determine in terms of like what are we going to do for hosting, and how do we merge the sort of Web 2 and Web 3 stuff together, is particularly with WordPress. So that's a bit of a technical challenge too. So people who want to help me make decisions like that, that's great. I am being actually paid to do this, so in some sense I'm going to be the guiding force in this, and in some sense you guys are going to have to tolerate my approach to the thing for the beginning of this, but I'm going to also try to learn and adapt as I go. So is that helpful, Juan? Do you guys have any comments or anything?
Yeah, no, for me it's super helpful. Maybe the only thing that I didn't get is the X. Is the X's?
Yeah,
What
this is
does that
called
mean?
content mapping. So for example, if you look, typically what you're going to do is you're going to do like a buyer persona thing, right? So those of you who are familiar with buyer personas, that's what this is along the top. What I've done is I've taken very in-depth processes, which is like this whole buyer personas thing. You can just go down a rabbit hole. You can do demographics. You can do all this different stuff. I've simplified it and just say, let's list out all the people that we're trying to get to, right? Then the what's are on the side. Here are all the different things, but the X's is what's called the content mapping portion, where you're saying, I want to take the TEC DAO and I want them to be able to do and access all of these different things, right? And so I
Okay.
might, and so, okay, but future thinkers, they might have a different set of things, right? Maybe they're not going to be on the book club because they've already done something else, but maybe they'd want to participate in our NVC practice group, let's say. Do you see what I mean? And so the point I'm trying to make about that is that when I have X's in all these different places, then I can say I need to make sure that when they're looking at the home page or whatever, that's going to influence my menu decisions. It's going to influence how high things are going to be. Because if I got a bunch of X's for one particular group, I need to make sure that I prioritize that somewhere, right? Maybe I'll need to create a special page just for them, but what this does is it enables a web designer, any web designer, even if it's not me, to make good decisions on behalf of the client. And this is, for me, a huge tool. That way I never have to go back to the client when this is all done and say, well, what about this and what about that? Really, I just do this right from the beginning, and then I can make all of the subsequent decisions without having to bother them a bunch going back. Does that help?
Yeah, I am super excited about this, and I think next Wednesday we can start giving more time to this in this time slot.
Okay. And then
Because
I'd like to have a specialized meeting just, for people who are already in the group. Just to, because we need to kind of have a focused working group on it, right?
yeah,
So-
maybe what we can do is to have like in this Wednesday call we have a time slot where we present advances, but we
Yeah,
continue
exactly.
working. Yeah. Okay. No.
That's perfect.
Thank you everyone for coming to this call. I was telling at the start of the call that these weeks I have been feeling like when you are reaching the last mile of a marathon, and you're like, oh, I cannot do it, it's too long, but it's like you just need one last like push. So it's like, yeah, next week we will start the third Graviton training. We are learning, we are improving, we are also making mistakes, but we are doing it, and we are leaving an impact on the space. And we will have people from multiple communities joining. We have a lot of interest from a lot of spaces. So yeah, next Tuesday we will have the first session of the third Graviton training. We will have POAPs for it, and we will have our Zoom account allowing up to 100 participants. So nothing. Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
And
Juan. Thanks, everyone.
mind your poem for
So,
today, if
Yeah.
you can.
Yeah. Thanks, Bianca.